In the time of Emefiele that is being investigated for ruining Nigeria economy, printing new notes to destroy Nigeria economy, they said. Emefiele, that's actually the crime, so to say. Okay, Emefiele printed 24 trillion naira for Bokwari to share. So if they ask him for the 24 trillion naira, how did he spend the money? He will need to call Bokwari. They will need to call the finance minister. They will need to call the National Assembly members under Lawan, all of them, not just Lawan, all the National Assembly members who were there yesterday, or sorry, who were there before the May 29, right? All the House of Representative members, including Bajabia Mole, they will need to call all of them, anchor all of them, and go and build a new prison for them. Near the ocean. You know why? When Emefiele used all the trick and lie in their economic nonsense, okay, to push Nigeria with the request of Bokwari and Gango to lie to Nigerians when Nigeria was bleeding, right? Emefiele was servicing Bokwari and his family. Billions and billions of your money were being siphoned in under different disguises. As he was doing it for them, he was doing it for himself too. Okay, everybody was feeling cool. When it was time to account for all of the money, Emefiele and Bokwari, they paid all the National Assembly members some amount of money, very huge, by the way, that nearly caused a problem. Remember, when Bajabia Mole started adjourning the seat towards the end of their term, because he didn't want to be impeached because of that. Remember? So they moved money and they told them to pass a bill that says debt consolidation bill, the debt of Nigeria, all the printed money that didn't receive any National Assembly approval by law. Suddenly, National Assembly said they approved the money, the loan. They approved the money printed. They approved everything done by Emefiele and Bokwari. So by law, Emefiele didn't commit any crime. He was just doing his job. So they did that as a cover-up. 4 weeks after that, Tifnubu arrested him. But, okay, what are the charges? They said he had illegal gun possession. He was funding terrorism. In fact, they said that, he's funding terrorism. Okay? And then he personally enriched himself. And he also plunged Nigeria economy into what it is right now. So people are now asking, what about others? Where is Bokwari? Where is the head of the economic team? Pastor Ruga, Ikene Shatabandu? So that's why I said, if they really wanted to probe Emefiele, those people, including Aisha, Ashishe Bokwari, their children, okay, their own family members, Aisha's brother, that Emefiele made the head of the Nigerian printing and milling what do you call them? It's a company. You see the company that is printing money for Nigeria, the company in charge of printing under CBN. Now Aisha's brother, Hedam, share you get. So they will pick all of them. They will be in jail right now until proven guilty. Proven innocent. They are guilty until proven innocent. But that is not happening. So Emefiele is just going to be the tomboy, the poster boy they are going to use to keep you distracted until you probably would no longer be interested anyway. So yeah, the court released him on a 20 million naira bail last month, July. But DSS, the Dokwemu stupid service, working for Tifnumbu, disobeyed that court order. Isn't that what you have been used to under Bokwari? Disobeying court order. Now they brought him back to court today with a new allegation that they are withdrawing. They are withdrawing the illegal firearm. You remember when they charged him for Shakabula? They said they needed something called the holding charges. So before they finalize and complete their investigation. What investigation? You already said that he's sponsoring terrorism. You must have your evidence. You said he was enriching himself. You must have your evidence. Those who benefited from the scam he committed, you must have your evidence. What investigation are you doing again? So they decided to charge him for owning a shakabula, a Dane gun. They said he didn't have a license for it. Central Bank Governor of Nigeria charged for owning a Dane gun by the secret police in Nigeria because they needed something to hold him and keep him in their base until they find enough evidence to charge him. That was the standing. But the court said, no, you should let him go. Okay? He should be released on a bail of 20 million. They disobeyed them. He was rearrested in that same court that day, and they locked him up again. Only for them to return now. And they said they are withdrawing the charges. It's already been dismissed. There's no charges. It's been dismissed. You know? But they said they are withdrawing the charges, and they are charging him with another 20 charges. Guess what are the nonsense in that charges? You, Emefiele, when you are governor of Central Bank, you personally enriched yourself, unlawfully enriched yourself, through the contract for new naira notes. You, Emefiele, that you unlawfully purchased the property when you are Central Bank governor. You, Emefiele, that you unlawfully have a contact with IPOB. You, Emefiele, we are charging you for, like, all nonsense, by the way, all nonsense, because they are not really charging him for his crime. They are not. And they also have no clue. When a lot of you, when they came and they said they are floating naira, I was like, all these economic jargons. Look at this guy. Is the acting Central Bank Governor of Nigeria, appointed by Kolu when Emefiele was arrested. All they want to do is to lock Emefiele up. Don't talk to anybody until we feel like you are no longer relevant and you can no longer pull any stunt on us or any Sanusi on us. Sure you get. But look at this guy. That is Tifnumbu's appointed Central Bank acting governor. He was the guy who came out to announce that they are floating the naira, and the market force will determine how much you are going to change or exchange the dollar for. They spoke a lot of nonsense jargons as usual at the time. And some of these Lagos Abobakus, Oshogbo Alimajiris, they were everywhere masturbating in public on these economic jargons from this guy. But one very funny thing is this. That guy that you just saw now was part of Emefiole's Central Bank. He was deputy to Emefiele. All of the policies that the Emefiele carried out under Bokwari, they did them together. At a point, Emefiele said, the reason why the naira and the dollar, not just Emefiele, it was actually APC, Egbekegbe, that said, the reason why naira to a dollar was exchanged for 250 naira or 400 naira to a dollar back then was because Bokwari has made it difficult for PDP thieves, to bank their stolen money. And because they cannot bring out that money, so that is why there was a dollar scarcity. You remember that time when those Olori Brukus were always on social media doing economic gymnastic? All those are shiri. Some of you actually listen to some of them, unfortunately. Abi? Economic gymnastic. I won't weary. They said because PDP were keeping money, they were afraid to spend it. That was why dollar was scarce. That very soon, by the time the Bokwari's government finished what they were doing, that dollar will become useless. You remember that time? It will become useless. Later, they said, oh, what is wrong with dollar, self? What is the big thing about dollar? They were going to go for yuan. I've been waiting, they went for that time, yuan, Chinese yuan. So they went to the World Bank and took out $10 billion from Nigeria's foreign reserve, and they gave it to China. So China will give them the equivalent yuan as a deposit, so they can have a bank in China. And that was their deposit for the loans that Chinese was giving to them at the time. So when that didn't work, they said it was those who were selling money under the trees in Abuja. So Emefiele called on Agbegedus, those who are cutting down what's it they call them again? Lumberjack, Yabi, the lumberjack. He called on the lumberjack, those who are Agegedu. They started cutting down trees in Abuja. They said the reason why Naira was crashing against dollar was because those people have somewhere they were staying under the trees. And the trees giving them shade to sell dollar for a country, giant of Africa. So they cut down all the trees. When that didn't work, they said those who are speculating the Naira and dollar online, they were the people who are making the dollar and Naira to be crashing. Remember? So they went after this guy, Aboki FX, and they said he was the one, is the chief speculator. They went for him and they froze his account. DSS was looking for him. The same DSS that is now keeping Emefiele. They were working for Emefiele then. They were looking for people, blaming people. But they didn't tell you that the singular source of forex for Nigeria, crude oil, was being stolen at a massive rate never seen before. Nigeria was bleeding, but they were blaming everybody. Remember? So this guy was part of that. He was part of that CBN. So when they put Emefiele under Gallo, they appointed him and he started speaking grammar. We are going to float the Naira. With what? We are going to float with what? Nigerian Foreign Reserve. Emefiele has used it as a collateral with Bokwari. So which means, with what are you going to float the Naira? You have no dollar anywhere. You are not expecting any real dollar from anywhere. The criminals who are also stealing the Nigerian crude oil, they are the same NNPC. So what are you talking about? Pure nonsense, Abi. What is Lagos Abobakus, Oshogbo Alimajiris, all this Oshodi accountancy? They started telling you the Naira, the dollar will crash. The market force will determine how much they are going to change it. The blah, 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 the blah. They blow, the blah, the blow. And some people are even saying that the situation right now in Nigeria is like all this town hall is different from Bala Blue, Bulaba, right? But the situation you have right now is that just know that the town hall is different too. The situation is so different right now that even those in charge of Central Bank of Nigeria, the pretender criminals who brought you here, they have been rewarded, Abi. Emefiele thrown under the bus. They are part of it. They have no solution for you. At a point, Emefiele started lobbying us, the diasporans, those of us who are actually subsidizing Nigeria. You know, now we they subsidize Nigeria. And a lot of you are so ungrateful elements. Who you help? Some idiot to be like, you they feed me. Who you help? What you don't understand is that as these criminals are bleeding Nigeria, stealing whatever they can steal, a lot of families in diaspora are having to fill in the space, put money back in that country, as much as over 30 billion US dollars. So little, not much, right? But imagine that is not coming into Nigeria every year. I'm talking about over $2 billion, nearly $3 billion from all over the world. Remittances back to Nigeria every month. Now imagine that wasn't there. Venezuela would have been better than you. These guys have messed the whole thing up. That Emefiele started bribing us. He wanted to bribe us. He went on to go and open an app, and they call it e-Naira. I was one of those who told you, if you believe in them, because they need us to bail them out. They've borrowed money from the north, borrowed money from the east, borrowed money from the west, borrowed money from everywhere. Now, they are even thinking of stealing money from dead people, dormant accounts. So they look up to the diasporans. They set up an app. They say we should be sending our money to our family members, our relatives, through their app. They will even give us money. If we send $100, they will give us $5. If we send $200, they will give us $10. They were giving us incentives so that we can send the money through them. So that Emefiele can have something, like the foreign reserve of Nigeria. from 34 billion. You use over 40% of it as collateral to take money from American banks. Nigerians didn't know about it. Nobody knows about it until now. Bokwari collected the money. Nobody's accounting for it. So they wanted to bank on our money. They were banking on at least if they can get just 50% of money we are remitting to Nigeria through them, not through other means. So those are the people they call speculators. They don't have the dollars. They are looting the source of where they are getting the forex, the dollars. They are not working on that. The looting still continues. The stealing of your crude oil still continues. Okay? Now they are talking about bringing back your subsidy. I told you. Subsidy that they told you they remove, they will bring it back. They will call it a different name because the money is actually for them and it is in no way any intention of theirs to actually fix anything, to end it. No, 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 no. You have cried, you have bled, you have done all of that. They will bring it back and then they will pay for it. Now, the people who are supposed to make the monetary policy, these are gamblers themselves, but they are just looking for who to blame. So, naira turned to Inira. He didn't save Emefiele. He was banking on maybe if he could get close to 10 billion from our money coming through their central bank app, he can use that as a collateral for God knows another loan. Sure you get? So that flopped. It didn't work. And Emefiele is now in Gallo, and another guy is here, member of Emefiele, telling you that he's floating naira. 6 weeks after they announced that they were floating your naira, okay, from 600 naira to $1. $1 has now crossed 900 naira. It's now floating to the point that it's almost 1,000 naira to $1 now. Haven't they told you that all their economic jargons, it's not going to save them? Nigeria has been crushed by Bokwari and APC. The only thing that can save APC right now is just for them to come out, confess like the witch, okay, and ask for forgiveness and resign and disappear from the space of Nigeria. That's the only thing they can do. But you know they won't do that, okay? You know, normally they say if you find yourself in a hole, you must stop digging, Abi. If you found yourself in a hole, stop digging. That's the ideal thing to do. These guys are digging more, okay? They are digging further. Number one, they are dishonest. They are not telling you the truth. Not telling you the truth means whatever shady means they want to use in covering up this gap, whatever distraction they want to use, it won't last. It's just a matter of time. You're going to wake up one morning and you'll be wondering, is this still Nigeria when everything will go up in smoke? A lot of you that are saying that Nigerians are so, they have been crushed. Nigerians are so kind of, they will never fight. One morning you're going to wake up and it is going to be, because you see where they are pushing you to, where they are pushing everybody to, it is going to shock to the point that even those of you who are supporting them, living in denial, you will not be able to live in denial for too long. It will affect your businesses. It will affect your relationship. It will affect your marriages. It will affect your jobs. It will affect things that you hold dear. And you're going to look around and say, they did it because they are doing it to you. Okay? In 2 months, the lie, you can call it the continuation. They said devaluation of naira, refloating of naira. With what? With water. Abi with sand? What are you going to use to float naira when you have nothing to back it? All but lies. Dangote refinery, the one that was coming to save naira, it's not going to happen until maybe 2030, if it ever happened at all. Now, they lied to you. In fact, I was asking myself at a point, I said, that money that Bokwari collected from Goldman Sachs, Goldman Sachs, at JP Morgan, that money was $13.8 billion. Could that money be the money they gave to Dangote? Okay, maybe I'm thinking too much. Because there is no record of whatever that money was used for. It wasn't recorded as part of the loans that you have been reading about. Oh, the money printed by Emefiele. Do you know how much that is in dollars? 24 trillion. Do you know how much that is in dollar? With the central bank exchange rate, $53 billion. Yeah. $53 billion is how much money, the value of naira that Emefiele printed for Buhari in 8 years. 53 billion. Where is that money? What did they use it for? Then this 13.8 billion that Emefiele and Buhari used the Nigerian foreign reserve as collateral for. What was that money used for? That one was collected in cash, in dollars, from Goldman Sachs. Okay? What was that money used for? Could you think of anything? I couldn't think of anything. I don't think they collected the money and shared it. The only suspect I have is Dangote. Dangote said his refinery will cost him about 19 or 20 billion dollars. The only visible money that was raised by loan from the European banks by Dangote on record is less than $3 billion. That $13.8 billion that Buhari collected from America, who did they give that money to? Did they just share it? I don't think so. Emefiele went to Dangote refinery that is 20% completed and said Dangote has paid back 70% of the loan that they gave to him. How did he pay back 70% when the refinery is even yet to be completed or refine one single oil? You see all these questions, they are the big things they are covering up that will keep Nigeria, all these lies about floating naira, okay? Now, that guy came out and he said, all of you who are currently holding your dollars, speculators who are saying dollar will be this, will be that, I want to warn you, you are going to lose money soon because we are going to float the naira. And once we float the naira, dollar will crash. Like Nigerians are bleeding. Businesses are dying. Businesses are folding up because they could no longer aggregate the exchange rates with the service and everything they have in Nigeria. Jobs are being lost. Here you get. And you said you are blaming the speculators as the reason why dollar and naira is going higher. Abi? And then you are warning them to stop or else they will lose money. Like, does that make any sense? Even the Agbado people, they don't think it makes any sense. Listen to this one.
An e-market. They will tell you they don't have naira. Well, guess what? They will instantly introduce you to an aboki that is standby in the bank that will change money for you. And you come here and tell me speculator or no speculator. But English lens so. When we are ready for the right thing, this market is not accessible. That 700 now wash. Nobody can get dollar at that rate. You still have to go to the black market. So who is accessing dollar at 700? How is it playing at that rate? After you said it's an open market. So why are people selling it outside higher than what you are selling it? The difference between the market is close to 200 naira. Make it make sense now. Are you telling me that there's still arbitrage going on? People are carrying money and giving black marketers? Because then so makes sense. And CBN governor came and is speaking black that if you know what you are saying, after what he said, finish. After you put on the stage, you have listened to what they have said. What is the solution than still pegging the naira and defending it? And you come and tell me cost of production of fuel is 43 naira. Are we producing fuel in Nigeria? $43. Are we producing fuel in Nigeria? We are importing fuel. Marketers are complaining that are getting dollars at 900, 950. And these marketers should have access to the I and E market. Why are they buying fuel at 950, 900? They will now bring it back to the country, landing cost. How much do they sell it if it's not 750? So what are you telling me about cost of production of crude oil and how does that correlate to what's my business in this? It is your job. They just told us today now that they have shut down Forcados, 450,000 barrels. So is it me that went to Forcados and busted it? Me that I'm doing my business in Lagos. When would they talk where make sense, I beg? This all what Tinubu they talk right now is not making sense. It is not making sense. If you are going to peg the naira, peg it. Don't be telling me policy documents. You have not even implemented anything in the policy document. In the policy document, they said dollar is supposed to fall between 500 to 600. This thing is going higher. Inflation is climbing. How do you want to correct it? Who is in charge of our finances? Nobody. And you are giving me bobo here, giving bobo juice. You hear what he said. What did the man say that is special about it? What has he said that is new? Censorship, please carry on. Say what you want to say.
Your opinion will not change the fact, white bird. Your opinion can.
Mr. Victor, so, having said all of these things you have said, Mr. Victor, you know what usually strikes me, especially when you're contributing to issues like this, you leave the place of empathy completely and make it seem like
There is no empathy in finance.
Okay. I will tell you how empathy entered the finance of Saudi Arabia. You were not here when I mentioned it earlier. When they figured out that cost of energy would rise locally, they knew Russia was going to sanction. So they went to Russia and picked crude per barrel at $40 when the market was pricing it at 90 something and 80 something naira. They refined those crude and they sold in that line of costing for their people. So that way, they have been able to mitigate the concerns around rising fuel price in Saudi Arabia as we speak. Now, if you say there is no empathy in finance, it means you don't know that there is a part of finance that we call behavioral finance, which factors in a lot of human traits. And you know, when we speak to these things, you know, I posted something, you came for me, you said, is it like I don't know that we have operators and we have JV? Mr. Victor, I know. I used 2 years to learn that thing before I started working actively on it. But a year to learn that before I started working actively on it. And one thing you need to know, sir, I can be playing, when we are playing, you know, the kind of dance we do. But when it gets to this kind of point, we are no longer playing. You see white bird already. If it was to be somewhere with you, I would probably have off that is white top, yellow top, and start dragging you with it. Maybe we tie it around your leg and be dragging you if you can. But the point is, this thing, Otim Bosori, that's what the Yorubas will say.
At the end of the day, you people will enter street and go and take your government back. The man will not turn himself to the money that is not there.
Allah Senator to finish. Allah Senator to finish. Yeah.
What is Nigeria? What place?
No.
You stay in a foreign country, you are talking nonsense. Come to Nigeria.
Shut up! Shut the fuck up and say things. Be have empathy if you don't have. Shut the fuck up if you don't have it. I live America, that's my choice. And stop saying rubbish there. Are you crazy? Close here.
This way. Censorship, please carry on.
So now, the major thing really is in terms of these efforts we are talking about. You know, I have been shouting it long ago. We even had a chat about it one time. Even when you are intervening in that market, the people in your class, the people you went to beat when you emerged as president, they know how their officers are going about any intervention that even the CBN is intervening. They know how they are undermining it. That I don't get involved in a dogfight. It's not my business. You know your friends that are doing it. Take their banking license. Let's start from there. Nationalize their bank. Let's start from there. Pay the shareholders, the minority shareholders away. Nationalize their bank and run it. If you show them that threat, they will have sense. Immediately you tell them you want to nationalize their bank. Don't give them the room to come and sell their own portion of their stock in the market. Because most of them have up to 60-50% of those stocks, 70%. Don't give them the room to sell their stock. Talk to NSC. I am saying this not because I am stupid and I don't know that this might have adverse effect on the economy. But at times, you sacrifice some things for the greater good. I was talking on a space. It was like Mr. Victor as well. Was it him or one person was attacking me that day? And I said, hey, in this market today, I observed more than $50 million move one way or the other. I won't tell you how it moves. When the DSS are ready to pick the people that are moving it, they should come and pick me first. And we will point to people that are moving it, and we will show evidence of where they move it to. These things are common this thing. But people will say, why are you saying this? Why are you saying this? I am tired of having people suffer by the roadside. More than 15% of our consumables in our inflation basket today are imported. When you play rubbish with the naira, parallel market rate non-low, you ruin the life of people. People have businesses that they can no longer do. People have lifestyle that was below poverty line before that they can no longer maintain. And that's why I find it completely difficult when I figure out that Mr. Victor actually comes to Nigeria very well, right? And when you come to Nigeria very well and you see what's obtainable on the streets of Nigeria, I wouldn't expect that you do not add some level of empathy to your conversation. See, that man that spoke today, what he's telling us is that they will defend Naira. Anybody who has an iota of knowledge about how the system works, we know that you cannot completely float the Naira. I have said it so many times. What I just don't agree with having so many windows, where you now have this window, SMIS, this one, they used to have NAFEX, NAFIT, this, that. You know what they will now do? They will now be using different windows to settle their friends. The people in the banking supervision unit of the CBN, they need to go to jail. And I'm not saying this literally. My names are everywhere. They need to go to jail. That's where the jail will start from. Because those guys are the ordinary people that are entrusted with providing oversight for the Nigerian banking system. Abi, they are the one that issues directly.
That was the Lagos Abobakus, Oshogbo Alimajiris, all of these humbled slaves, sophisticated morons, and the ones who are abroad, the Abroadian bat idiots, the Abroadian Buhari idiots. Did you hear any of them mention Buhari? Did you hear any of them mention Pastor Ruga? They kept mentioning Emefiele and the banking and the rest of that. But did you see that when Agberos are having a chat? You know worry, no. Like, you know what I mean? It is going to take time. Sure, you get. Everybody will get there. When it touch your business, and you are listening to some ragamuffins, some cretins on social media, talking about all this economic nonsense that they have no idea of. These guys are there, and they are just like their mole, their vuvuzelas, who will be giving you ideas of economy, this economy, that. Once that one work out, once they float the naira, what's all the nonsense and jargons they said under Bukwari. See how the whole thing ended. They're everywhere. You see them on MySpace. I've been waiting to call that thing, Space on Twitter. You see them on Clubhouse. It is so ridiculous, right? That you will see those who are their speakers. They are mostly Southerners. Now, them, they sound like they get sense. Bunch of, political jobbers. They will be speaking. They are just there to pollute your mind, get you confused, so that you won't be so focused and face the criminals and what they are doing to you. They are there to be giving you all this nonsense. What have you? They have no idea what these guys are doing. They don't know. They are just like mouthpiece, deceiving you. And they're everywhere. But I like it. Anytime I see them fighting like that, I kind of love bringing them here, because reality, you cannot deny it. If you are still waiting to be fed from the crumbs, you can continue doing your defense. And if you're already eating the crumb, you can continue to defend the rubbish. But when the thing touch you, Baba, Iwofureluma confess. Around that time, you realize that APC or PDP or whatever will never pay your bill. It won't. And for those guys, they don't give a damn about you as well. You are just statistic. You're just number, I'm more like you. Stop crying. Stop screaming. Other people are suffering too. So I beg you. You are just statistic to them. So me, I am not a speculator. But because I know why the naira is falling, and I know how much they are doing to cook the book, and make it look like there is hope for recovery when they are still doing the same thing they are doing. They are opening the loopholes for where to siphon your scarce resources. And then they can make mouth and promise what they don't have any plan of delivering or giving to you. So when they keep doing that, do you think the problem is just going to go away? Do you think the naira is just going to begin to gain its muscle? No, it doesn't work that way. I remember, I think it was 2 years ago or so, or 3 years, no, sorry, I think it's about 4 years ago, when Pastor Adeboye released a very powerful prayer on naira. Do you remember that prayer? When he said, whether IMF, World Bank, whether they like it or not, naira shall rise again. In 2021, naira shall rise, whether IMF or World Bank, whether they like it or not. Do you remember that prayer? It doesn't work that way. Do you understand? It is just the same way you can never pray your way out of the same man-made problem. It doesn't work that way. It is a mockery. And I don't know who provoked Baba Adeboye, that he had to swear inside his church that if he's watching anything but God, may God kill him. They must have provoked him that much. Baba, the prayer points, in no jail. God will not do what man should do. Is that not what it says in the Bible, Abi? Is that not the preaching? God will not do what we, man, should be doing. He won't come down and do them. The criminals who are devaluing Nigerian naira for their own selfish gain, momentary gain, they have no plan of strengthening the naira. So there's no amount of, I command IMF, I command this or that. You are pretty much mocking God, Baba. I don't know what spirit told you that day. So they say, Baba say, if they worship anything but God, may God just, I don't know, I think he said God, hang on.
So I just want us to settle that issue today. I want you to pray a prayer. And please pray it with all your heart. I want you to call on God that if Pastor Adeboye is contacting the devil one way or the other, if there's any connections between him and forces of darkness, you're going to call on Almighty God. Kill him before the sun rises, so that it doesn't spoil your name, so it doesn't lead several innocent people to hell. Then you add to that prayer and say, Father, but if this boy is using your power and your power alone, then multiply that power sevenfold. Let's stand on our feet and cry to the Almighty God. If there's any link between Pastor Adeboye and forces of darkness, Father, kill him before the sun rises. But if he's using your power alone, then multiply that power sevenfold. Go ahead, cry on.
Let's be poor. Breathe. Don't suffocate them. We have that responsibility. Let
let the poor breathe. And after that prayer, just like a follow-up, Baba Adeboye God did not call him. He's still alive and well. So which means, to the members of the Redeemed, Baba has been using the power of God. What shall we do today?
What shall I say unto the Lord?
Yes, Lord.
All I have to say,
Thank you, Lord.
what
shall I say? Thank you,
Finally, this your all eyes on judiciary, all eyes on judiciary. Will I say go put a lot of people in trouble, oh? Yeah. Because immediately after yesterday that we saw them taking down the billboard of all eyes on judiciary, all eyes on judiciary. They've dissolved the body in charge of billboard in Abuja and Nigeria, I think. They dissolved the body. They have to put another set of people on, and they have banned the display of all eyes on judiciary in Nigeria. So you can't put it on billboard anymore. Here is their memo towards that. Now see if I can read some of them. So according to this body, right, they are called ACON. Okay, advertising, wherever Council of Nigeria, they are advertising engineers. Anyway, sorry, the text is a bit blurry, right? But I'll kind of pick few, right? All eyes on the judiciary advertisement, dissolution of the advertising standards panel, secretariat. So they disbanded the secretariat that was supposed to stop you from putting all eyes on judiciary out there. Okay, so and in this circular, they practically said the all eyes on judiciary message can cause problem in Nigeria, unrest. Okay, so look at this. Number one, the cause forming the central theme of the campaign in the advertisement is a matter pending before the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal. Hence, it is jus pendis. A matter being jus pendis and awaiting judicial pronouncement is, by virtue of the Nigerian legal system, precluded from being a subject of public statement, debate, discussion, advertisement, etc. The advertisement is controversial and capable of instigating public unrest and breach of public peace. So the advertisement is considered a blackmail against the Nigerian judiciary, the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, and particularly the Honorable Justice of the Tribunal, who are expected to discharge their duty, judicial function without fear or favor over a matter that is currently jus pendis. So the council will set up blah, 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 blah. Okay, hang on. Said they are no longer going to let you put any banner up that says all eyes on judiciary, because it is the intimidation of the judiciary, and therefore it will not be tolerated. And as that from them, so people have started printing stickers with all eyes on the judiciary. They are printing shirts. They are printing different souvenirs. So we may begin to see news of people being arrested for wearing T-shirt that says all eyes on the judiciary. That may also happen soon, as they are already triggered and actions are being taken, and they are pulling all of that down across Nigeria. So whatever that means, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and the rest of that, that liberty is supposed to be in that your 1999 Constitution, but I don't know which chapter 5 or chapter 4. So guys, I am going to call it a night tonight, okay? Initially, I was going to stay away because suddenly I've been having this toothache, which I am thinking of getting on there to kind of take out, you know. So if I am not back here tomorrow, I may be recovering from that if it's done, okay? But I don't think I can spend more time after like moving the jaw or this wire for 90 minutes. So thank you to every one of you who is part of this tonight. But I have one very good appeal to make, and that is to all of you who are like you know, the supporters of Mayegun and the brethren in this temple. So Yoruba Union, our union is pretty much as you all know what we are up to, right? So we are currently coming out again to seek for your support for those who are always around there for us. So we have some of these beneficiaries from our programs that indeed are currently being put on hold, simply because the resources to mobilize people to get things done for them and probably bring it out the report back here is not there. So if you have this, and until when we come back to do the proper fundraiser, I think you can go to bed tonight, right, and think of how you can be of help to us in this regard. So for those who are asking for the Nigerian Nigerian bank account of the Yoruba Union, I'm going to leave that on the screen when I leave now, okay? And then, yeah, everyone else, you can always make use of other mediums. Just add the message. This money is for the Yoruba Union, and it will get there. So thank you. I will see you some other time, okay? So if I feel better tomorrow, I can be back tomorrow, right? Even if it's just going to be for a short time too, right? So thank you, and I will see you again. Good night.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary Mayegun number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary Mayegun number one. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú. Mayegun Diary Mayegun number one. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun Diary Mayegun number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun Diary Mayegun number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun Diary Mayegun number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun Diary Mayegun number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun Diary Mayegun number one. Mayegun Diary politico. Mayegun Diary Mayegun number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun Diary Mayegun number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun Diary Mayegun number one. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary Mayegun number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá
Máyégún máa wí.
ayé ẹ̀sùn ràjò
Máyégún ti dé.
aṣòfin tí ń rúfin òwò
Máyégún máa wí.
ayé ẹ̀sùn ràjò
Máyégún ti dé.
òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú
Máyégún máa wí.
ayé ẹ̀sùn ràjò
Máyégún ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì
Máyégún ti dé.
ayé ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o àyè.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀ kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀ ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́run ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì o ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.